Hi guys, happy 2022. Sorry if I sound weird, my voice is pretty well gone. Um, so wanted to take today to pull out all my graded figures and show them all off as a collection. Um, so I thought, what better time than now? I got a couple other videos I'm working on and wanted to just kind of get this one knocked out today. So I'm gloved up so I don't get fingerprints all over these, and we're gonna start first. Um, we'll do the non-Ninja Turtles first, and then we'll do NECA Ninja Turtles, then vintage vehicles, and then vintage TMNT figures. So let's start off with Scareglow. He is not graded. He is just in this awesome case, but the reason I got him out is I wanted to tell a story. He was sitting on top of a cabinet, 6 foot off the ground, and a shelf above it fell and brought this guy tumbling to the ground, and he is in amazing shape, no breaks. The card was already rough there, but yeah, this thing fell 6 foot to the ground like a concrete, and yeah, is in really good shape. So hats off to APG for making cases that can survive a fall like that. Alright, so the first of my non-TMNT graded figures, because I don't have very many, is this Mezco, or excuse me, Mego, pocket superhero Spider-Man from 1979. He is a 70 EX Plus. He's got a pretty big bend across there, but all in all, no yellowing, really, and was in pretty good shape for 1979, considering this is one of the oldest figures in my collection. I've had this since I was probably in 6th grade. My grandma actually gave it to me. She was a vintage doll collector and had bought an entire set of these figures from a pharmacy that had them on sale, I think. And so at one point in time, I had the entire set of these, but I had sold them off during college. And this was the only one that I kept. Got rid of the Hulk, Captain America, bunch of DC ones. Superman, Batman, Robin. Got rid of them all. He was the only one I kept. They were all carded too. I don't know why I got rid of the other ones. I shouldn't have. And then next up, we got this big behemoth. I want to say this guy. Let's see here. What does that say? 80? Yeah. So he got an 80. This is the Origins Castle Grayskull. And that was the most expensive thing I've had graded so far. It was very expensive, and it was graded straight out of the shipper, so I really expected this thing to come back like a 90, 95. Unfortunately, these things are not packed very well inside the shipper boxes, and did not get the score that I wanted. On the other hand, it does look pretty freaking amazing in this case, and it's solid too. I mean, this thing it's a thick boy. It's definitely heavy. Yeah, I don't know what this thing weighs. I bet 50 pounds. It's got thick ass rails holding the box down inside it. So, yeah, that is my non-TMNT stuff. So give me a sec. Let me get the stuff set down, and we'll find some other stuff. All right. So again, I'm just gonna show this off just because I got it. Might as well. This is just an April and Foot Soldier in a graded box, but no grade. And then I have a Bebop and Rocksteady, one of the highest grades in my collection. Came back as a 90. And then let's just do this here. So we have April O'Neil. Came back as an 85. And then starting over on this side, we got Donatello as an 85. Leonardo was an 80. Raphael's an 85. And Michelangelo, is an 80 plus. And then the jewel of my collection. This is the black and white box set that came back as an 85. So this is one of my favorite sets, and this was how I'd like to display it if I could find a way. I just don't have the shelf space for it. I'd like to have it displayed kind of stacked up together, but I just don't have a place to put it. Little mouse over here. Alright, let me clear this out and we'll grab some vehicles. Okay, so first up here, I've got the sewer army tube as an 80. Looks really, really good. And then the sewer party tube, also as an 80. And then the classic collection from 2013, as an 85. Currently have the brand new party wagon being graded because he told me he wanted to make a case for it and would make it for pretty cheap. So I'm gonna say it's $100. He's only charging me $100 to get the new one graded. Granted, that's not what he's going to charge. He's mainly just using mine because the new one is actually a little bit smaller than this one in the box. So he wanted mine for the measurements. So I got a pretty good deal on it, I think. Alright, let's move on to the vintage figures. Alright, guys. So first up, let's look at these two figures I got here. This one is ungraded. This is the black belt storage shell Leonardo. I know he's a rare figure, but I didn't want to get him graded because of that tear. Other than that tear, it's in pretty good shape. So I don't know. I may end up having him graded just because he is a pretty rare figure. But right now he's not. He's just in a case. Now this one is disappointing. This one I sent in to have graded, and it came back as a reseal. So it was just put in a case with no grade. Which to me is pretty disappointing considering the money I paid for this guy. And I don't think he was a full reseal. I think that it was just starting to come off and someone decided to try to repair it. But either way, it's a worm, it's carded, it looks pretty good, so I'm happy with it. I don't really care that it's not graded. I won't get rid of it. Alright. So we'll start down here on the end, because I know that these are the lower grade ones. So first up, we have Dr. L with a disappointing 50. I still think it looks pretty good. But you can see that the bubble is pretty crap on that side. But I'm still pretty happy with it. None of these grades I'm really disappointed with just because, I knew what I was getting into. This guy is guaranteed he's the 50 just because you can see the bubble. But again, I don't really care. And then this one, I don't understand. This one's a 50, but he looks way better than the others. Like, there's nothing on the card. The bubble's not busted down here. So I really don't know why this one got a 50. I mean, look at the back. There's no wrinkles. So there must have been something that I just couldn't see. I know the card's not like perfect. I mean, there's a couple little things on the bubble, but it says the bubble got 50. I just don't understand. I mean, doesn't that look pretty dang good? I mean, right there where it says I want more than crumbs. Oh, word bubble, there's a little smuts. Possibly a little bit of a crack. But this guy looks way better than those two. So by comparison, I don't really know why this thing got a 50. That one I would love to have regraded. I don't feel like that one's a 50. Alright, next up we got Dirtbag. He came back yellow 70. I think his card looks just as good as the Anthrax one did. Yeah, I really don't know why Anthrax got so low. Wave 4, 45 back. And we got Mutagen Man at a 70. Again, this one I don't think is as good as the Anthrax. That's why I'm not a grader, I guess. And then we got Monty Moose. Look how smushed his card is, his bubble. And he came back a 70. His card is really good, though. Yeah, his bubble. I would be a terrible grader because that one says the bubble's 70. And it's in worse shape than any of those. Or most of those. These last three, anyway. So, this Sergeant Bananas is kind of the same way. Like, his card's a little wrinkled on the side, but not bad. He got a 75. But again, his card back is in really good shape. And kind of the oddball. I don't have a lot of these cosplay turtles graded, but his card was just too clean not to. He came back a 75. I 100% agree with that. He is very, very clean. And I don't see a lot of this guy graded. I mean, maybe it's because he's not very popular. But I always liked him. I thought it was a fun toy. I'm not... As far as the cosplay turtles go, those were never none of my favorites, but there was a few of them I liked. You know, like Surfing Mike, that kind of thing. Then we got Krang. I guess I got those kind of out of order. I was trying to go by grade. Krang is a 70. Pretty awesome figure. One of my favorite figures, actually. And then Casey Jones. Getting a little bit higher in grade. Got an 80. Really expected this guy to come back higher than an 80, but very, very clean card. And then a surprise one that I did not expect to come back as an 80 is this Usagi. And he was pretty clean, but I didn't expect him to be an 80. Alright. Now let's get into some of my favorites. Let's let's do these right here because I got them handy. I got Raphael 10 back as an 80. So I got a Raffy. And got Donatello. He came back as a 75. And then Michelangelo as a 70. Which, if I was a betting man, this guy would have gotten higher than everybody. Because this was the cleanest card that I had taken. Well, I guess I didn't notice the bubble down here. What was the card back? 80. So it would have been an 80 if it hadn't been for that little bit on the bubble. But his card is very, very clean. Still no Leonardo. I think that was one of the last ones I took over to get graded. So I may have a Leonardo coming. I just do not have one yet. Alright. While I'm doing the 10 backs, let's do this. Here. Got a 10 back Foot Soldier. Let me pause this, get some stuff over here. Alright, so sticking with the 10 backs here. I've got a 10 back Bebop, and this one is a little bit different than the others because this one is with the pop-up display. The pop-up display is, I think, maybe even rarer than the soft heads. A lot of people go after the soft heads because they were the first. If you're going after rarity, I think these are actually rarer. One, because there's no really way to tell which Bebop came with a pop-up display unless he's in the case. So I could take the pop-up display and put him with any other Bebop, but this is a true pop-up display Bebop. And the same goes for... I feel like I'm missing one. Oh, I may have not ever got him graded yet. So this is the Shredder 10 back, also with the pop-up display, which was just these little cutouts back here, and each figure came with their own, like, one of them's a Mouser, one of them's a Bebop, a Rocksteady, that kind of thing. So each one's like a little character that pops up behind them. So we got Shredder there. He's an 85 and Bebop's an 80. This Shredder may be the highest out of all the vintage graded figures I have. Next up, I got a Metalhead. He's an 80 plus. And then we'll go into what I call my, which I would consider my gym figures. We got a half court at a 70. A Sandstorm at a 70. And Warrior Michelangelo Metalhead. Yes, it is an actual Michelangelo figure. Got the undercover turtles back here. And he is a 70. And the final figure in my collection is this Hotspot. Probably one of the rarest figures in my collection. At 70. Oh, excuse me, 75. scratch. Alright guys, that is my full graded action figure collection. So that's kind of what I've been focused on this year, was getting figures graded. And so I didn't do a ton of buying grails this year because I was trying to get a lot of these graded. So yeah. Anyway, we'll see you guys later. Bye.